Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for being here for the first episode of 2026. I am really excited to be back. I feel like I'm really back now. The last few months, I've been dipping my toe back into the working world since having Alfie, my little boy. But now we are first Wednesday back. I'm recording this on schedule, let's say. And I feel like I'm ready to dive back into the world of content creation, planning, thinking through of what I want my 2026 to look like, delivering, presenting, serving you, my fabulous listeners. Did you have a lovely Christmas? Did you have a fabulous New Year? It was the first for me of being a mummy at Christmas. And although he had absolutely no clue what was going on, I obviously made him wear matching pajamas because we are those people. The last few episodes have been a little bit different for me. And this time I thought you deserve some kind of the real stuff, the stuff that you are all, I know, really here for. But I do hope that you enjoyed the last couple of episodes. This episode is me telling you the shift that I just made in my clinic, and actually why 90% of clinic marketing is now completely pointless. Welcome to the Treat Your Business podcast, the show for clinic owners who want real, honest advice and tried and tested ways of doing things. I'm Katie Bell, and this is the new era of bigger insights and bolder conversations to help you grow a clinic and a life you love. Let's dive in. Quick pause, because if you're a clinic owner and marketing has started, probably never stopped, to feel heavier rather than actually effective, I want to make sure you hear this. Next Wednesday, 21st of January, I'm running a live masterclass, and it's all about the biggest shift that I have made in my clinic and why 90% of all marketing is completely unnecessary. It's for you who are doing more marketing than ever, but you find your bookings are unpredictable. Or it's for you if you think you finally should start doing some marketing because you've been so busy doing everything else, but you don't really know where to start. I'm going to break down why most clinic marketing in 2026 is going to be absolutely unnecessary, why visibility alone no longer fills your diary, and I'm going to talk to you about the strategic shift that I've made in my own clinic that made most of what we were actually doing redundant without having to post more, spend more, work harder. This is definitely not social media training because that is so boring. It's not about trends or tactics. It's about really aligning how your marketing and healthcare works together and how healthcare clients actually choose to work with you. So it can feel clear, calm, supportive instead of just this big, heavy load that you've got to try and figure out. It's going to be live on Zoom. Replay is included, but you've got to register via the link in the show notes to ensure that you get the replay sent to you. But I need you to be there live. This is the sort of thing that you need to cancel a client for. If marketing has started to feel like you're just spinning loads of plates, this session is going to show you what you can confidently stop doing. Now, back to the episode. If you're a clinic owner, the chances are you're sitting in one of two categories. You're doing and spending money more than ever on marketing, and you're doing more marketing than you've ever done, or you're still sat in the camp of, maybe there's three camps actually. You're sat in the camp which is, I don't do any marketing, but we're really fucking busy. And because we're so busy, I haven't really got time to do any marketing, but I want to grow my team. And therefore I know I need to be doing more marketing, but I don't really know what marketing I should be doing and what, when I should be doing it. And then you might be in the camp of marketing what? Maybe you're in that kind of, I'm trying lots of different things that I think is marketing, more posts, I'm trying to do it on more platforms, I'm trying to come up with more ideas. I feel like there's a lot of pressure to stay visible, and yet your results still feel very unpredictable. And for a lot of you, some months can feel great. Some months feel like you're chasing the bookings and you're panicking about what your diary is looking like. And we often hear that clinic owners get really busy, they stop doing their marketing, and then they get quiet again. And marketing is really about being consistent. But most of the time, you're probably feeling like you might be missing something that everybody else seems to understand. So I want to talk to you today about the shift that I've made in my own clinic in just towards the end of 2025, really, and why, as a result of that shift, probably 90% of the stuff that we were doing is relatively pointless. And it's not because marketing doesn't work. Marketing being taught outdated strategies for a world that no longer exists thanks to AI. And we are like 5 or 6 or 7 steps behind in our industry. And so if marketing has started to feel heavy, or has always felt heavy for you, it felt very noisy, it's felt very exhausting, it's not in your zone of genius, it's not something you really want to spend your time on, then this episode is going to help you understand why. So the reality check. Let me start with the hard truth, in that most of you are not failing at marketing. Most of you haven't been told exactly what to do, or you've been told to just post more, be more consistent, show up everywhere, try all of these different tactics. But what I always encourage you to ask is, does this thing that I'm doing actually influence booking decisions? Does this suit how our clients, our ideal clients, healthcare clients, actually choose who they want to see? And does this thing that I'm being told to do, or I'm trying, or I'm doing, actually just support the business that I want to run? And it can often feel like marketing is spinning a lot of different plates. And for many of you, you have to spin a lot of different plates because you have a multidisciplinary clinic. You've got lots of different things. So you've got massage, you might have laser therapy, you might have Pilates, you might have a gym, rehab studio. And you're trying to market all of those things to all of those people that would use those services all at once. And it just feels relentless and very overwhelming. So the hidden cost of trying everything and doing everything all at once isn't just a poor return on investment. It's the mental load of always thinking about marketing. It's inconsistent messaging because you're not really, you're reacting, you're not really leading, and your messaging becomes very confusing to the client because you're constantly chopping and changing from one thing to the next thing. And it can feel then that you're really busy, but not necessarily seeing the result of the busyness. And the bigger issue is that every few years, it seems that marketing has a completely different trend and a different change to it. And most of us, in terms of what I observe, is that you're still operating on like old rules. So 2018 to 2020, just before COVID arrived on this planet, you could just post and pray and hope that by being a little bit visible on some of your social platforms, I can't even speak today, platforms, that would get you some traction, that would get you some bookings. 2021, 2023, social first strategies really dominated. And it was like, if you showed up, told your story, stayed consistent, you grew. This is when we saw these like influencers really take over. 2024, 2025, we then had this not introduction, but a big boom in algorithms. It was hooks, formats, trends, timing, frequency. And we were all just told, just try harder, be everywhere, be more visible, do more content. And the effort that we've all then kind of put behind all of our marketing, and we absolutely were doing this in our clinic, quietly replaced the strategy. So it felt like my marketing person was quite busy and there was lots going on, but I wasn't exactly sure that the stuff that was happening was generating us leads. And for some of you, that means that your diaries can still feel very unpredictable. The big shift. At the end of last year, probably because I had some headspace in business terms, not in real life terms, we weren't struggling by any stretch of the imagination. We have consistent leads and new patients into our clinic because of years of consistency and visibility. I was questioning, what was my marketing person doing with all of the hours that I pay her to do every week? And One question that changed everything was, what if most of what we're doing isn't wrong? It's just actually unnecessary now. And a part of that is because we're 11 years old. We've got something called traction in our clinic. And therefore, we don't, I'm very grateful for all the leads that we get, but I don't think we have to work that hard at getting them anymore. We have one or two things that work really well, and we just leverage that. And the question led to this kind of very strategic shift to me. It's not a tactic. It was not a new funnel. It was not a new platform. It was a shift in how we started to think about our marketing and how we are spending our time. So it was like from activity to leverage, from attention to intention, and from visibility to like decision making moments. So healthcare clients don't book because they just saw you. They book when something moves them into and tips them into that decision. Social media becomes less relevant. Constant content creation becomes really unnecessary. Trying harder becomes completely obsolete. And it's not because marketing has stopped working, it's because we finally aligned it with how the clinic actually grows. So you might be thinking, well, okay, how, Katie? And I'm not sharing the how with you just yet, because without the why, tactics just create you more noise and more things that you think you ought to be doing. But I want you to take a breath and take a pause and really look at all the different marketing tactics that you have in play right now in your clinic. And if there is like one, then there's probably not enough going on for you. If there is 10, there's too many things going on to you. But of all of the things that you do, and you'll be marketing without realizing, conversations is marketing, networking is marketing, upselling and referrals and conversations in the clinic are marketing. So all of these things are happening. You just probably don't realize that you're doing them. Flyers. Okay, we understand that's marketing. Posting on social media, we get that. There's all of this other stuff going on. What really moves the needle in terms of getting more bookings in the clinic? Because then there's a lot of shit that you're doing that is just noise. If you didn't do it for the next 3 months, it would not make one jot of difference to your number of leads, inquiries, and bookings in your clinic. I want you to just pause and really think about, where do I spend my time? If I'm genuinely serious about growing this business to the next level, how much time am I actually spending on being strategic with my marketing and then deploying those tactics and making that stuff happen? That's probably the first shift that you need to make. And how much money are you investing in your marketing in comparison to your overall revenue and your turnover that you're making in your clinic? So in 2026, the things that you're going to have to accept is that being seen doesn't mean being chosen. So visibility has been a massive push for years and years and years, but it doesn't now just equal trust. Algorithms have rewarded a lot of noise, but not necessarily a lot of clarity, not necessarily a lot of credibility, not necessarily calm authority. And with the shift towards the way like Gemini search, ChatGPT is working and how it's pulling its information, we want to be visible in the right places in the right way. So most of you don't need more eyeballs. You need fewer, better ones that are closer to a decision. Truth number 2 is that most marketing ignores how people actually buy healthcare. So healthcare and getting a problem solved, decisions are made emotionally. Decisions are made through fear, and they are made trust-led as well. So people don't book because you persuaded them. They book because someone they trust recommended you, because the timing was right, because the risk felt low or the problem felt big enough. So proof beats persuasion. Timing beats tactics. And again, what content are you putting out there that is leaning into proof and credibility and authority? Truth number 3 is marketing should remove work, not create it. So if your marketing is requiring you to be daily posting, creating fucking blogs that nobody's reading, constant creativity, you being on all the time, you delivering leaflets to all of the houses near you, it's not scalable and therefore it's not very sustainable. And this is why we see this constant peaks and troughs of people's marketing being on and off and on and off. So good marketing makes the business feel lighter, not heavier. So what happened in my clinic when I really had the space to think, okay, we're doing this, what's really moving the needle? What's really bringing more inquiries? And how do I leverage that rather than try and turn on taps in so many different other ways? And so there's a couple of things that I guess I really started to question or I encouraged to happen. And the first thing was that I said to my marketing team, I said, okay, I want 5% or less of your time now to be on social media. That's it. Stop this fucking constant posting and content creation and create reels and all that, because actually it doesn't drive bookings into the clinic. So I want us to be visible and a place of credibility, authority, expertise, but I want you to choose very carefully what we're posting. And I want you to post less. And I want you to use that time on the other projects that I've put in front of them. What really happened is that decision making became very simple. We actually leveraged the things that we know work and put more effort into those, not because we sound like the newest hack, but we just stopped confusing effort with effectiveness. The other thing that we do very well in our clinic is joint ventures, collaborations, going out there, being seen by our community. But we were also getting into the habit of saying yes to too many things that were perhaps not generating the number of leads that we are requiring. So we have a large clinic with a big team. When we have a joint venture or a collaboration, I'm not looking for 2 or 3 bookings here. We want like a lot of noise. We want a lot of attention. We want a lot of bookings. So if I'm going to collaborate with people, they've got to have an audience of a certain size now. So we've actually made decisions to stop collaborating with a lot of people. They were bringing nothing to our party whatsoever. We were the one with the big list, with the big email list, with big following. So again, stop confusing effort with effectiveness, really asking those strategic questions. Is this going to generate more bookings? Is this where I actually need to be spending my time? And if it is, how do I leverage it? How do I go big? So I want this episode to really make you think, am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? Does marketing feel heavy and confusing? And do you want 2026 to feel calmer, clearer, more sustainable, more predictable? And do you want to really understand where you should be spending your attention and how you can leverage your results in 2026? Then if the answer is yes, I want you to come to my very first live 2026 Masterclass. I am back, baby. And I am running this. Do you know what? This is typical me. I actually don't even know when it is. Wait, let me just find out. Let me find out. Okay, it's here. 21st of January, 1 o'clock. We're going to run for probably 60 minutes, definitely. Me, over deliverer, probably likely to go on for 75 minutes, maybe 90, depending on how much I talk for. But the replay will be available. But here's the thing, you have to register to get the replay. And I really need you there live, because if you just think about this as being one of those things that you're going to catch up on, I'm going to tell you now, you're definitely not going to do that. It's going to be one of those things that sit in your inbox that you actually don't do. If you do this in January, this is going to make a massive difference for the rest of your year. So what's going to happen? I'm going to be live online for you all. I'm going to show you the biggest marketing mistakes clinics will still be making in 2026, so you cannot make them. What you can confidently sack off and stop doing. I'm going to talk to you about how to focus on what actually drives booking decisions. And I'm going to talk to you about the full strategic shift that we've made without burning out. Okay. So what you need to stop doing immediately, what clinics actually need to compete on, and why AI cannot touch this. the shift that made everything feel easier for me, and what really drives buying decisions in 2026. Now, this is the first time I've shared this, like in a live session, and the first time I've been on online live since having a baby. So if 2025 felt busy, but your bank account did not reflect this session is going to change how you approach marketing for the rest of the year. Sounds good? It's not social media training, boring. It's not a funnel masterclass, even more boring. And it's not a list of trends. I'm not going to teach you how to do reels or hugs. I actually have no fucking clue whatsoever when it comes to how to work social media. But I've grown 2 very successful multiple 6-figure businesses without actually needing to understand any of that. So it's strategic. I'm going to keep you grounded. It's designed specifically for you as a clinic owner. Wednesday the 21st, 1 o'clock. I really would love you to be there, because if you haven't been on an online session with me, or you haven't been in a room with me before, you can't get the energy of a session from a replay. You can't get the nitty gritty from a replay. You can't get one-on-one coaching that you're going to get in this session from a replay. So block this time out. I would go as far to say is just get rid of some clients in that time, because this is going to move the needle forward. This is going to move your 2026 into a profitable year, a consistent, a sustainable, a predictable year, because this shift will probably make everything else very unnecessary. And so you can really just leverage your time. I hope that sounds good. I hope you're going to be there. How do you register? There is a link in the show notes of this episode. I believe if you're watching this on YouTube as well, it will either be on the screen somewhere or it'll be underneath in the notes somewhere. Again, I have no idea how they do this stuff, but people make it happen around me. It's marvelous. Yeah, let's do this. Let's start 2026 in the right way. So please join me. I can't wait to deliver this session live and to see lots of familiar faces that I have not connected with for a few months. So be there or be square. Have a fabulous rest of your Wednesday, my gorgeous people, and I will see you next week for my next episode. Thanks for listening to the Treat Your Business podcast. Hit subscribe now and keep joining me for bigger insights, bolder conversations to help you build a clinic and a life you love.